What's going on, everybody? You're listening to SANE Show about nothing and everything. I'm your host, Cliff. And today, you guys remember him, he was last on episode 44. So that was really a long time ago, at least so it feels like it. I have with us smooth jazz guitarist, producer, and songwriter. He's been killing it lately, Garry Percell. How you doing, Garry?
Hey man, I'm doing great, man. It's good to speak with you again, man. It's been quite a while.
It has been, and I've been following everything that you're doing and keeping tabs on your work. And I got to say, I'm loving it. I'm happy for you. It's exciting to see what you're doing and watch your growth, and to have you back on Sane Show.
Hey man, I'm just trying to live the life right now, man. But cool. I'm glad to be here.
Awesome. That is great. So, really quick, before we jump into the topics, I have to do what I always do. I want to take and shout out to all the listeners and all the fans, all of our followers on social media, everyone in all 60 plus countries around the world. Thank you guys. I love you guys. I missed you guys. And I'm happy to bring you guys another episode of Sane Show. Really quick, if you're listening and you're not following us, be sure to check us out on Instagram and Twitter at sane_show. That's sane, SANE_show on Instagram and Twitter. And then you can find us on Facebook at SANE Show. Again, on Facebook, you can find us at SANE Show. So today we're going to have a conversation about the in crowd. And then following that conversation, we're going to talk about industry cosigns. And then after that discussion, we're going to have an interview with you, Garry, so the listeners can, those who don't know you, learn more about who you are and what you do. And also for those who are familiar with you and the work that you do, can catch up on the latest and the greatest in the world of Garry Percell.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and kick it off with our first topic, the in crowd. So another guest and I actually last year, my good friend Lenny, we had a conversation related to this. We were talking about the inner circle, and I more than ever feel like I'm part of that in crowd or the inner circle. And just from the conversation that you and I had not too long ago, where you were giving me the update on what's been going on with you, I'm feeling like that's the same thing with you now. And I always joke with people about how things are different being
Yeah.
in this space that we're in, and that one of the biggest things are the associations, which play to our benefit.
hmm
In a sense, it also makes me more mindful of the work that I do and the quality of work that I'm putting out, especially because obviously people are looking at you, and they're giving you all kinds of feedback, and also makes me more mindful of my actions. And now, really thinking like long term, as I've tried to do as often as I can, and really thinking about the big picture. Because obviously, when you're part of the in crowd now, when you're connected to all these awesome people, and you think about the bigger picture, it, in a sense, it does adjust. You have to make an adjustment based on the
hmm
feedback that you're getting, based on who you're connected to and how they might be able to help you get to where you want to go. I guess
Yeah.
I don't want to take it over, but what are your thoughts around all that now, being in the in crowd and having those associations, especially in the industry that we're in when we're talking about entertainment?
No, you're absolutely correct. And no matter what level that you're on, and especially where we are now, Cliff, on the level that we've been introduced into, and the in crowd, we hold a very big responsibility for those who has opened the door for you, because the door is, most of the time the door is closed, and there's a reason for that, because there is a, and not to sound egotistical or anything like that, but when you reach a certain plateau and you're operating there, everybody's striving for excellence, and everybody is making sure that they're there, because that is the gold standard for operating in that arena or on that level. So when someone sees something in you, yeah, they look at as saying, "Wow, this person, could do well on this level or in this in crowd that we're in." Then when they do allow you to come in and give you that opportunity, because it is a door or a window of opportunity, And when they let you into that window and that door opportunity, you do get a chance to see the level of operation, if you will. And while you're in there, those people are sharing things with you that was once closed to you because you were not in the in crowd. And so you really have to adjust to the operation, if you will, the SOP, standard operation procedures that are in there with the in crowd, and learn, very quickly, how to maneuver around. What comes with that is those people that are already in there and have been in there for a while, it's a certain responsibility that comes with that. You keep everything lifted up and keep those people lifted up that has given you that opportunity to be where you are.
No, it's very true. I certainly agree with that. And one of the things that makes me think about too is even in my own experience, and it's so funny because the people that I interview on the show
Hmm.
are now the kinds of people that I'm talking to on a regular basis, and it's different.
Yeah.
It's different, and I think one of the coolest things too is knowing that, and I don't want to spill over into the next topic, but just knowing that you have something good.
Hmm.
Like, oh, I'm creating good content.
Yeah.
People like your music, Gary. People like SANE Show.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, and but yes, you are also right in to that there is a responsibility. One of the things I remember having a conversation about a while ago on one episode, as far as the whole gatekeeper thing, and as far as who you let in, and all that kind of stuff. And I remember
Hmm.
saying, it's not about keeping people out; it's about letting the right people in. Because when we talk about creating content and the stuff that goes out to the masses and
Hmm.
that has a huge impact on perception, and
Hmm.
that's serious weight. And
It
also
is.
too, just having these associations now, because for the longest I've been on the outside looking in, and and then you hear too on social media and the news, and everybody has their idea of what it looks like on this side.
Yeah.
When you get on this side, you really start to find out what it really is for yourself, and I think that's one of the coolest parts about it.
Amen.
So
Amen. If I can jump in, you're exactly correct about it, and you have to be prepared. That is the one thing that is very important about it too, as well as being prepared when you get that opportunity, and you're allowed in, by someone who has entrusted into what we do and what you do with the same show. Now, it's time to up our game because, that's how the game is played, once you are let in. So a large responsibility, a huge responsibility. And you're exactly right. People are loving your show. And I found out, which is so humbling, that so many people across the world love my music. And that's so humbling. I got a call today from someone over in Scotland,
wow.
and say, "Wow, I just got your brand new release, and I'm throwing it in my show, in my playlist right now." So that's very humbling. That means that people all over the world is loving what we do. So we have a great responsibility now to deliver to them and to the
Mhm.
people a quality of what we do.
Yeah, that is very true. Yeah, and I agree with you. It's humbling when,
Mm-hmm.
especially when it's like people that you wouldn't expect to maybe say such nice things.
Yeah.
Like even like I'm even thinking about some of the people at high up at some of the biggest entities
Mm-hmm.
in Hollywood, and
Mm-hmm.
like you have something good. Wow. Oh, didn't see that one coming. But it's like, okay, it's like I got something good here. Like that's very, very humbling, and obviously, kudos to my team because awesome team, and everyone that's poured into me and that's poured into the show and offered
Mhm.
me all kinds of feedback and tips along the way. Thank you to you guys because definitely wouldn't be here without the help of everybody.
Yes, amen, amen. We can't do it by ourselves. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's definitely the truth.
Mhm.
All right, we're back. So now we're going to have a conversation about industry cosigns, and I kind of touched on this in the last segment, but it speaks to the quality of work that you do when you get cosigns in the industry that you're in from some of the most respected individuals. So let's start by saying that stuff carries weight. I'm going to say
Hmm.
that first, and I like to call these things endorsements too.
Yeah, for sure.
And can really take you far. I like to think of them as like movie reviews,
Hmm.
right? You see these big blockbuster films, and great example, right? Space Jam just came out.
Hmm.
People are raving about the film. It's a great movie, and those people who are respected in their space, these critics who have good things to say about it, when that gets out there, that's only going to help the film. So
Exactly.
those, while they might be one person's opinion, and to some people may not mean anything, depending upon the space that you're in and whatever it is you're trying to do, those words carry a lot of weight, and they they're going to take you far.
Hmm.
And that those reviews are super important, and so when I look at it like that, that using that kind of analogy, that's how I feel when I think about what people are saying about SANE Show, or what people may be saying about Gary Percell. Like
Yes.
when I heard you on the Smooth Jazz during the Smooth Jazz Countdown on iHeartRadio,
Okay.
and the new single Spotlight, and Adam Kepler mentions your name in the song.
Hey,
I'm like,
yeah,
wait, what?
yeah, that's so humbling, man. I tell you.
Yeah. And just wanted to get your thoughts, because again, you've transcended into a different space, and again, you're you're part of the in crowd now, and you're coming in contact with some really respected individuals, and I would love to get your side of it when we talk about the importance of these industry cosigns when it comes to the work that you do in this space.
Yeah, it is very important. It's very important for the to be co-signed and to be
Hmm.
frankly and honest about it, because that's part of it. It is very difficult to maneuver to even when you have been let in, you still are seeking cosigns even while you're inside. And I have to kind of go back to the beginning. In this is after I think our first interview that we did, and I had a tune out then at that time. But then when I went to a smooth jazz festival, a concert, and I was just kind of hanging around a little bit there, where musicians were then, or artists that were on the festival show, and one individual that was on the festival, just kind of say, "Hey, what's happening?" That kind of thing, and we started a conversation, and just so happened that I had I had my single with me, and we got to talking, and he says, "Hey, you look like you're a musician." And so that conversation went forward.
Hmm.
And that's kind of how the door came open. That one individual, which was a great cosign that I encountered. This individual has had six, maybe seven number one singles on smooth jazz or contemporary jazz market and Billboard charts. So and very into it with so many different people. I don't want to call out any names, but some heavyweight people that he's toured with.
Hmm.
And he's a heavyweight actually himself in his own right. And I was just floored by the humbling personality that he had. And we hit it off very quickly. And I look back on it, and what a great cosign that he has been, has opened up so many doors. So cosigns in the industry are very important, and it never stops. No matter how far you continue to climb up the ladder in your industry, you will always need a cosign.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. And even though, because we also have to remember that though we have those cosigns, it does not mean we stop trying to
Absolutely.
improve.
Hmm.
Because that makes me think about the conversation actually, when one of the recent guests, when we first met up and we sat down, we had brunch, and gave him the story of myself and the story of the show, and he loved the show, and he asked, like, well, when you in doing that, are you open to doing this? Are you open to maybe talking about these kinds of topics, or doing this and that. I'm like, oh, certainly, yes. You know,
Hmm.
so I think
Yeah.
I think it's important for us as creatives to understand that when we transcend, that we're going to need to adapt,
Mm.
right? Because when SANE Show goes to video, it's not going to look exactly the same,
Hmm.
literally.
Hmm.
There would be adjustments that would need to be made,
Yeah.
right? You know, we think about things like formatting and all of that good stuff, and things to make it to broaden whatever the body of work is, right? To make it even more appealing or appetizing, yet at the same time not sacrificing the quality, right? So as long as we
Yeah.
don't sacrifice the quality, and as long as it doesn't take away from you creatively, it's not one of those things that, that's not me. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Then you're good. So definitely something, because it's like, yeah, it's great. Because I'm of the mindset too, and I'm sure you are too,
Hmm.
where you're good, yes, but it can always be better.
Always.
That's what we don't want to ignore.
Absolutely. If I can jump in there,
Please.
that is very important. What you have just said, and that goes back even to, what we were saying about responsibility, and by no means because the gatekeeper has opened up the door, and has brought me in, but now the responsibility for me is to grow. Once you're let in, you can't just rely on everyone else to be able to handle your career, that you've been. Now that you're inside, what you have to do is, now it's a whole different growth. I call it a different growth level, because before you were let in, you had to grow to a level where someone would look at you and says, okay, they're at that point where they could move to the next level. And once you have been let into that next level, now comes what I call a second level and growth period. And so now that you've been let in, a lot of responsibility is on you to grow yourself with inside. Where you've been led into. So it never stops. I think now that I'm studying my guitar more than I ever have now
Mm.
that I'm on the inside. Because why? It is because so many individuals that are in the same crowd that I'm in is so spectacular. There are so many great artists that are there. But I've learned that no one can do a podcast like the SANE Show. No one can do it like Cliff. Everybody's an individual, and that's one thing we can have confidence on, that the way that I play is the way that I play.
All right, we're back now for the interview. So again, for the listeners that aren't familiar with Garry, this is going to be the time for you guys to learn about him. For those of you that are familiar with him, this is going to be a time for you guys to see what's going on with him now. So, because like I've mentioned earlier, there's a lot of things that have happened since episode 44. So,
Yeah, it's
um, so
been a
I'm going to
while.
fire off with some questions, Garry,
Okay.
so that the listeners and I can learn about you and all the awesome things you have going on. Cool.
Hmm. That's good.
All right. You've been generating a lot of buzz since our last show together. You released a new single. Tell us about it, please.
The new single that is going for ads or going to major radio stations will be on the 26th of this month of July. And I'm really excited about that because this is actually my third release. The first release was pretty much a test market or branding test market that I did with the first single. The second single, entitled Don't Stop. Wow. I'm just so excited how that record did. And now I've released the third one, which is entitled Smooth Strut, which is a smooth jazz or contemporary jazz kind of sound song that will kind of make you want to dance a little bit. So the thing is that a lot of times you go to a lot of jazz festivals and things. If you notice, a lot of people are sitting down and they're sitting down for quite a length of time. And I just wanted to kind of do a kind of song that would kind of tune that would make people want to just get up if they just want to get up where they are and just dance a little bit. So I'm excited about this new single release, Smooth Strut. And I'm very hopeful that people would love it as much as they did with my last single, which was "Don't Stop."
Awesome. I'm excited to hear it. So I'll
Mhm,
be on the lookout for it for sure.
mhm. Oh, thank you.
Your team has grown a lot as well. What areas or function have been added to your team as of late?
As I stated before, is that you can't do everything yourself. I'm an independent person, so and I'm an independent label also, a Rebound Music Group. So I'm not part of assigned to any label, and that was by design. I have been in the business for so many years, over 25 years or so, and have been associated with label and things of that nature. But by the nature of electronics and technology these days, if you want to get in and grind pretty hard and willing to put in the hard work, then you can make it happen, even as an independent. So, with that said, is that and once you reach a certain plateau, and radio is loving your material and they're playing your material and the people are loving it, then there are more different entities that you need to reach out into in different areas, which means that I need more hands. I need more feet. And so I need more people to do different things. So many things have been added. A radio marketing team that I have contracted that I use for marketing my music. Just hooked up with a social media marketing agency out of California too as well, and so they can handle that part. Also, administration work to have individual who is handling a lot of the administration type work and things like that. That is required to get things done administrative wise, as far as the business part of what you do too as well. So have a lot going on at this time. So I'm thankful for the ones that are really liking what I'm doing and that is part of the team now.
That's great stuff. You're busy, busy.
Hmm. Yeah, super busy.
Would it be fair to say that your music has evolved? If so, then how has it evolved?
My music, it has evolved. A lot of people that has known me as a guitarist many years past, or even maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and that really had followed me as an individual, as a musician, as a guitarist. They had kind of gotten adjusted to a certain sound. They know what I sound like, and I still sound that way. But we're talking about evolving and adjusting, because as a musician or a guitarist, just say for instance that I feel like I wanted to go by one of the local music venues that has live entertainment. Maybe I want to sit in that night, and maybe I'm listening to R&B. It's an R&B group that is playing. Well, then I would play R&B style of guitar. So wherever I am, that's the style of guitar that I play. And most of the people that knew me kind of know what my sound was then, and it still is now. But we need to evolve. So being led into the genre of contemporary jazz and smooth jazz, I've had to kind of readjust how I play.
Mm.
And as a musician, is that never lose the idea or never lose the concept that what you do is about how people hear you and feel what you're playing. And so I've had to adjust and I have evolved, which is a good and positive thing, how I connect and how I speak through my guitar to the smooth jazz community, to the smooth jazz people who love smooth jazz music. So I have evolved. Per-
That
Really
reminds
good.
me of Russ Freeman and the Rippingtons and how,
Yeah,
wherever they are,
yeah, yeah.
the way they're playing changes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's music,
Yeah,
because music is communication.
right.
And we must understand that part of it is that no matter even if I go to Japan for a festival and play, then I must communicate a little bit differently. Although my music won't change that much, but people will respond differently. I was once at a concert and no one would. Uh, it didn't look like people was enjoying what you're doing. because they're not, hey, you know what I'm saying, excited during the playing of the music. But soon as you hit your last note of the song, the place erupts in applaud. So
Right.
you have to learn that and understand that people are really hearing what you're doing. And so once you learn the language of being able to speak through your music to the individual in their background, then that's what it's all about, because it's about connecting to them. So I have evolved into in this genre of contemporary jazz here, or smooth jazz, if you will, learning a little bit better how to communicate to the smooth jazz audience or the contemporary jazz audience with my guitar.
My last question to you, you said that you've been moving into unknown territory. How have you prepared yourself, and what are some best practices that you can share?
Best practices, or let's go to the first part of moving into new territory. This
Yeah.
is new. This is new territory for me here in the contemporary jazz market. For so long, I have been in R&B and some jazz too as well, and other different mediums of music. But here into the smooth jazz, it is unknown territory for right now, because I've never been quote unquote a called a smooth jazz guitarist or a contemporary guitarist. But as I listen to the radio that are playing my material, sometimes that's what they would say.
Hmm.
Smooth jazz guitarist Gary Percell. So it's unknown territory. But in the preparation and preparing myself with some good practices is that being humble. That is the most important thing, is being humble here in what I am doing. And the other part is that there's no reason to reinvent the wheel, which means is that so many other people are doing it right, and so many people are doing it successfully. So, keep your eyes on this. Continue to be a student, and that's what I am now. I am a student here in the commercial jazz market. So there are so many others that are continuing to sow into me, and so I am not at the place that I feel like that I have arrived, but I'm here as a student here, and so many others are pouring it into me because they have liked something that they see in my music or what they hear, and so they have been investing into me, as teachers, and it's so humbling by that. So I don't try to reinvent the wheel. So the preparation is try to surround myself or connect with those who are doing it right, and being so successful at what they do. And hopefully one day I would be as successful as they are.
Awesome stuff. I'm really excited for you, and I'm excited to see what comes of all of this. I know it's nothing but great things, as I like to say, up and to the right. Uh, so thank you, Gary,
Yes.
for one, you reached out to me. So thank you for reaching out to me. Come back on SANE Show. Always glad to have you back on, and the door is always going to be open for you. So you're always welcome to come back on SANE Show. So it's been a pleasure having you back on the show. That's for sure.
Oh man, thank you. No, thank you. And actually, I reached out to you because you were just good people, and I hadn't spoke to you in a while. I'm just kind of like that. I miss my friends. So and hey, and then this happens. So nothing happens by happenstance. So it was destined for us
Exactly.
to hook back up again and do this for this appointed time.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And you bring up a great point when you say friend. And my motto has been with SANE Show: start as a guest, leave as a friend.
Amen.
So,
Sure, for sure.
well, thank you again, Gary. Thank you again, listeners, for continuing to like, share, subscribe, and spread the word about SANE Show. Please be on the lookout for Gary Percell's new single. Check it out. It will be on streaming platforms everywhere. Check them out on the Smooth Jazz Countdown. And remember, you are listening to SANE Show, the show about nothing and everything. And until next time, we're out.